Astronauts planning to replace a blurry camera on the International Space Station were forced to cut short their mission after a tether used as a lifeline was found to be frayed and a backup jetpack began malfunctioning. The main job for Commander Randy Bresnik and teacher-turned-astronaut Joe Acaba was to replace a blurry camera on the new robotic hand that was installed during a spacewalk 2 weeks ago. However, the mission was cut short after a jetpack the astronauts wear to stop them floating away in the even a tether strap break malfunctioned just hours after the strap was replaced as it was frayed. Astronaut Joe Acaba performs a spacewalk outside the International Space Station on Friday, October 20, 2017. Acaba was barely outside an hour when he had to replace one of his safety tethers, circled in red. Spacewalking astronauts always have more than one of these crucial lifelines in case one breaks. They also wear a jetpack in case all tethers fail and they need to fly back to the space station. NASA decided near the end of Friday's spacewalk that Joe Acaba's jetpack was no longer reliable and ordered him back inside. He finished his work, lubricating a robotic hand, before heading back in at the 6-hour mark with Commander Randy Bresnik. One of Acaba's jetpack handles kept popping out during the spacewalk. After consulting for several minutes, controllers in Houston finally declared the emergency jetpack no good, 5 hours into the spacewalk. Mission Control says Acaba's safety tethers were solid and he was in no danger. Just an hour earlier, Acaba successfully replaced a blurry camera on the robot hand, the main task of the day. The jetpack is used only if a spacewalker's multiple tethers fail. The two men were supposed to go spacewalking earlier this week, but NASA needed extra time to rustle up the repair plan. Sharp focus is essential in order for the space station's robot hand to capture an arriving supply ship. The next delivery is a few weeks away, prompting the quick camera swap out. Orbital ATK, one of NASA's commercial shippers, plans to launch a cargo ship from Virginia on November 11. Acaba was barely outside an hour when he had to replace one of his safety tethers, which keep him secured to the orbiting outpost and prevent him from floating away. In this image from video made available by NASA, astronaut Joe Acaba performs a spacewalk outside the International Space Station on Friday, October 20, 2017. Acaba was barely outside an hour when he had to replace one of his safety tethers. Spacewalking astronauts always have more than one of these crucial lifelines in case one breaks. They also wear a jetpack in case all tethers fail and they need to fly back to the space station. Mission Control noticed his red tether seemed frayed and worn and ordered Acaba to remain put with his good waist tether locked to the structure as Bresnik went to get him a spare. Spacewalking astronauts always have more than one of these crucial lifelines in case one breaks. They also wear a jetpack in case all tethers fail and they need to fly back to the space station. Later in the spacewalk, the right-hand controller on Acaba's jetpack popped out unexpectedly more than once, and Bresnik had to help him with that as well. At SCHRODINGER 115 asks, what would have happened if you didn't switch the tethers? Number is NASA https://t.co/cb&q-c61h27pic.twitter.com and 8rodfg. The 250-mile-high complex is currently home to 3 Americans, 2 Russians and 1 Italian. This was the third spacewalk in 2 weeks for the space station's U.S. residents. Bresnik performed the first 2 with Mark Van High. As they ventured out, Bresnik noted they were flying over Puerto Rico. "Get out of here," replied Acaba, the first astronaut of Puerto Rican heritage. Acaba's parents were born there, and he still has family on the hurricane-ravaged island. NASA's Joe Acaba and Randy Bresnik outside the International Space Station near the robotic arm on October 20, 2017. The 2 American astronauts floated outside for the third spacewalk this month aimed at repairing the orbiting outpost's robotic arm and replacing old cameras. Astronauts went spacewalking Friday to provide some necessary focus to the International Space Station's robot arm. Pictured, Astronaut Joe Acaba can be seen carrying out a task during the mission. "There's a whole line of people looking up and smiling today as you get ready to head out the door," Bresnik said. Friday's spacewalk should be the last one for the year. Early next year, astronauts will replace the hand on the opposite side of the 58-foot robot arm, Canada's main contribution to the space station. The original latching mechanisms are showing wear and tear since the arm's launch in 2001. The 250-mile high complex is currently home to 3 Americans, 2 Russians and 1 Italian.